Good afternoon. Welcome to Wave Your Grades. And as a matter of fact, I was having technical difficulties. So, for those of you who are regular listeners, the reason that we are so late coming on the air today is a malfunction of some kind with my computer. And it happens from time to time in our Zoom calls. And those of you who use Zoom regularly probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Today is Saturday, May 22nd. This is Wave Your Grades, coming to you live on KUAW.org, emanating from the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. Louis George Walker, producer, engineer, and I will approach a few topics today and explain why my very special guest was not able to be here today. But in the meantime, I'm going to ask Brother Walker if we can remind the listeners, I haven't used it for a while, of the Wave Your Grades theme song. And if that is, as we used to say in 1967, it potted up, would like to see if we can hear the Wave Your Grades theme song.
fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. They sacrifice for you. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. Please.
Thank you very, very, very much, Brother Walker. That is the Wave Your Grades theme song. Little technical niches here and there, but I want to thank you for putting that on, because the Stutes for Boots program, which is the parent organization for the Wave Your Grades radio program, is launching a renewed campaign as we talk about our young people honoring our veterans, and as a matter of fact, those who are active duty on what we refer to as academic patriotism. So the Academic Patriotism Campaign is asking American students to strive for excellence in honor of our troops. And the idea behind the theme song and the name of this program, Wave Your Grades, is to suggest that one of the ways people in the United States of America have determined that they would say thank you to those who serve and who have served is to wave an American flag. While symbolically that has some merit, what we are suggesting, in as much as ours is an academic program, is young people should not just wave the flag saying, I am an American, but wave your grades, which will suggest, I am an excellent student. Wave your community service. Wave your leadership. Wave your 180-degree turnaround if you were not doing what you were supposed to be doing, and have made a decision that in as much as there are those who fight for my right to go to school, I ought to take school seriously. As a matter of fact, we have asked our young people to adopt, in honor of your sacrifice to protect our nation, I am serious about my education. That's what we're asking young people to say, and that's what we're asking our young people to demonstrate. So, once again, the name of this program is Wave Your Grades, Wave Your Community Service, Wave Your Leadership, Wave Your Teamwork, all of that. But I indicated that Stutes for Boots is the parent organization, and I referred to it as a not-for-profit 501c3 organization. So when I correspond with you and you see the word organization, that is not a typo. That simply suggests that involvement means that we are not just going to embrace the words, but we're going to put the words into action. And I'm telling you, for those of you who are viewing/listening to Wave Your Grades this afternoon, my honor, my privilege having Louis George Walker in studio is that he can attest to the fact that this program has featured some of the sharpest young people in the United States of America. And it happens that the predominance of young guests have been Black males, Black females. When there are those who say that we are attempting to close the academic gap between Black students and white students, I would invite you to a conversation that Leon Dixon and I have had often. When we hear we want to close the gap between Black and white students, you will hear each of us say that's not good enough. We don't want to close the gap, we want to shoot the gap. We want America to see these young people, often brought to us by attorney Valencia Broaddus and her Smart Club, that they are not just trying to become equal, but making sure that their excellence surpasses the average and helps the United States of America become a more academic nation. Now, as for Stutes for Boots and the book, Academic Patriotism, let me say that Stutes for Boots is suggesting Stutes, short for students, students for boots, short for troops. So students are performing for troops. And again, as we say, and for veterans. Now, the acronym STOOTS, STOOTS, spelled the same way backwards, STOOTS, stands for Students Theater of Operations, the school. Students Theater of Operations, the school. And that Stoots for Boots is simply saying that if indeed the school is the theater of operations, that this is where our young people indeed engage their studies, much like theaters of war, our troops engage the enemy. In this case, excellence is not our young people's enemy by any means. So all of that being said, just to explain why I asked Brother Walker to play the theme song in its entirety. And in this new thrust, in this post-pandemic launching of Stoots for Boots and Wave Your Grades again, you will hear the theme song each Saturday, probably not in its entirety as we did today, but just to remind those who are listening that this is what we are about, because it says in this parade, please wave your grades at those who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. And we're just saying that to students, if they were, for instance, to visit a VA hospital and they wanted veterans to understand that they are honoring them, when you go to that veterans hospital, take your grades with you and indicate that you are an excellent student. And for us, we say that in the plural. They are excellent students, plural. Now, with that in mind, uh, let me offer condolences from my wife Wanda and me from the program to the family of LaFay Daniels. Um, they had a death in the family. She's in North Little Rock, Arkansas, and we just want to extend our condolences. LaFay was to be our guest, and when she comes on, this is what we're asking her to do for those of you who are tuned in and supporting what Stoots for Boots is all about. LaFay is our computer operator, our technician, as a matter of fact, our web instructor, as it were. And we're going to ask LaFay to come to the program as our very special guest in the appropriate time to help those of you who have supported us so well understand how you can access this program. And before the program is over, Brother Walker knows that I always ask him to help those who are viewing slash listening to know how they can access the program. And by the way, other KUAW programs coming to you from the Learning Center and KUAW, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And not only how you can access, but also what the website will present to you in ways that suggest not just how you can support the effort of Students for Boots, but the very many ways that you as parents and you as teachers, you as supporters of the young people who are matriculating in our American schools, how you can help, what you can do, what materials are available to you, what resources are available to you, what contacts are available to you. And the person who can do this best is indeed LaFay. I refer to her as La Family, and she refers to Wanda and myself as Aunt Wanda and Uncle Carl. And we are asking not only that she show you how you can get in touch and keep in touch with what we are doing, but more importantly, how you can interact. Let me tell you something. In the United States of America, and particularly in the Black community, I promise you that this society does not give enough credit to parents who are doing magnificent jobs with their children, does not give enough encouragement to students who look like us as it relates to how bright they really are. It's just a matter of orientation. Brother Walker, no doubt you have heard me on more than one occasion quote Brother Reverend Millis Doc Bass, who coined the phrase, the relevance of intelligence. You've heard me say that more than once, and over again, I am going to say that when young people feel that what they are pursuing is relevant to their lives, they are likely to succeed. Go ahead, Brother Walker. Were you getting ready to say something to that? I'm rolling on. Okay. I saw Brother Walker smiling. I didn't know whether you wanted to bring. Oh, as a matter of fact, you're on mute, so you might have been saying something and I still missed it. We're okay. Yes, yes, I can. Yes, yes. Thank you. Oh, you are far too kind. You don't know what an honor this is for me and for us. DeQuay Wilson, announcer. I'll mention her in a moment as well. But among the things that we are proud of being associated with KUAW is the kind of activities that the Black Family Technology Awareness Association does uh, as sponsor and or participants. And it seems like fairly recently there was a robotics or some kind of competition, but please repeat. And I know you get tired of me asking you to do this for us, but the kinds of activities that the young people associated with BFTAA or Black Family Technology Awareness Association performs. Well, I can certainly hear you. I can absolutely hear you and see you. So yeah, I see. I see. Well, for those of you who did not hear what Louis George Walker said, it was, you will not hear what Louis George Walker is saying. And we started out with some technical difficulty, but primarily, in case you did not hear him, Louis George Walker was indeed talking about the program being consistent with the kinds of things that the Black Family Technology Awareness Association is doing. And we will engage them when things are coming up for our young people, ways that our young people can become involved. This is just fantastic. Now, I indicated that we are looking forward to um, LaFay helping us to orient our viewers, listeners, and supporters to participating with Stutes for Boots, the parent organization to Wave Your Grades. I mentioned DeQuay Wilson. And one of the other things that Louis George Walker said in our conversation when his microphone might not have been on was his referring to the fact that now Wave Your Grades has been on for a couple of years, if not a few. And that brings me to our co host, producer, engineer, uh, DeQuay Wilson. And DeQuay Wilson is one of the great people in our experience who has overcome so much that she is indeed a modern day hero. And Brother Walker, I'm afraid to use the term because I'm afraid that it is so overused. But DeQuay Wilson is indeed one of the strongest people I know and has faced and overcome challenges like very few people whom the rest of us know. That being the case, has indeed been very helpful in some endeavors she has engaged since you have not seen her with us. So, another part of our new post pandemic launching will be welcoming back our announcer, DeQuay Wilson. So, we're going to talk about the new website, LaFay Daniels, our experienced co host, DeQuay Wilson. Now, also, let me prepare you for getting the same wonderful caliber of guests that we have grown accustomed to presenting. And Louis George Walker, viewers, listeners, friends, supporters. I looked at the weekend paper, the KUAW paper, and looking at a photo with the name Jorenna Floyd. I hope that I am pronouncing that correctly. Jorenna Floyd. And what I read was first African American female to accept the nomination to be the post commander for BFW Post 8100 in Grandview, Missouri. And it appears that sometimes when it is appropriate, that she will allow us to present her on Wave Your Grades. Now, let me say what I said again. The first African American female to accept the nomination to become the post commander of BFW Post 8100 in Grandview, Missouri. That is good in so many ways. And when we talk about this being the era of the woman, particularly the Black woman across the United States of America, first woman vice president happens to be a woman of color. on our program, one of the most important members of any Veterans Association, and I happen to be proudest of being able to introduce Rebecca Bradley as the head of the National Association of Black Veterans. She is a regular guest on the program, and she is particularly helpful in assisting veterans in exercising the rights that are bestowed upon them based upon their service. In sometimes it is wartime service, and sometimes they did not face active combat, but they did serve. When they become veterans, so often there are those who have not studied, do not realize where they can go to have things taken care of, like an education, to have health matters attended to look after housing, to be able to take care of their families. And while I use the word family, let me also suggest that there are families of veterans who do not know that they too have rights and privileges based upon the service of their family member. And every time someone has a question, I tell them, please get in touch with Rebecca Bradley, and she does come on perhaps once a month. I heard a sound, Brother Walker. I don't know if that was, yes, sir.
I think I'm getting through now. I think they'll hear me.
All right, that's fantastic. Now, if that is so, let me go back to something. And by the way, I'll reintroduce it the way I did the first time. You might get tired of me asking you to do this, but it is so important to our community. I was asking about the kinds of things in which students can participate, sponsored by the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, and if not sponsored by, in concert with.
All right. Yes, I'd be glad to talk with you. We're just wrapping up our season this year of robotics. So we've been working with the kids since January. Last week, we kind of had a meeting after we did Remake Learning Days and talked with some of the students to see if they enjoyed the class, how they liked it, what they felt they got out of it. And we were really glad to hear from the young people as to what they felt the class had done for them. And now we're looking at if we're going to start a summer program or if we may just wait until the fall to get out, because we're wanting to regroup. We did have one of our coaches that was taken ill this year, just about the time we were getting ready to do our last event. So he's out of the hospital now and on the mend. So we may hold off on the summer program and wait until the fall in general to bring the kids back. So we're looking to not only do the robotics, but we want to add some coding into it and some other things. We've got some drones and some other projects that we want to bring forth that the kids can learn about. So the coding, the working with all the little, what you would call sort of what they call it, edutainment, to where they can get some education and have some fun out of it. So we're looking to expand, and we're also looking to do more collaborations in the coming year. We've talked with the Kansas City Public Library, and they work with the youth out on Swole Parkway and trying to integrate some of the youth throughout the city, because there's a program over here, there's a program over there. A lot of people know of the different programs, but we need to have a way of integrating the kids to come together. The ones on 63rd Street working with the library, and the ones on 16th Street with Esteem Village and W.E.B. Du Bois in the middle. We want to come together and let those kids kind of show what they've all done together, bring all those parents together, because if we operate in our silos, then we think, well, we're doing it, the Black Family Technology Awareness got robots and that's the only one doing it. Well, and the people that are working with Esteem Village says, well, we got, the programs that we got in here and we're the only ones doing it. Because you talk to people and they say, well, there's nobody else doing what you're doing in the city. Well, yes, there is.
Oh, that's
And we need to get together so that people will have that bigger sight of what's going on in the community and what's going on in the world. So we're finishing up our robotics coding, which we did, which was a virtual program. We had to pivot, as a lot of people did. We couldn't do in person, so we did a virtual program. But we're looking to take that to the new level. So that's kind of what's going on. We want people to stay tuned. Keep listening to KUAW Radio. Also go to the Black Family Technology Awareness Association Facebook page and web page, bftaa.org or kuaw.org, and to get the information that we'll be putting out there for everyone to take advantage of. We want to make sure that we get the word out. And our robotics, or not our robotics, but our radio program, as we talked about at our monthly meeting, has been growing as far as our reach. And we want to make sure that people know that they can get in touch with us on Facebook, on YouTube. There's a program called My Tuner. There's the online radio box. There's Zoom, TuneIn. So all of those we're on, and we're getting this information out. So when people hear us, it's not just here, but it's all around the world. So we want you to take advantage of it and take advantage of us and use us as much as possible. We're trying to grow this station, grow our reach and the people that we do reach in a fun way and stuff. So that's kind of what we're doing at BFTA. I also got to give a shout out to my granddaughter, Nyla, who's in Tucson, Arizona. She graduated May the 17th from their School of Science and Neuroscience and Cognitive Science. So she's a neuroscientist, got her bachelor's degree, and we're so proud of her coming out and being a part of what's going on in the world. So I have to give a shout out. I'm a proud grandfather,
Now that is so wonderful. You said the graduation day was May 17th?
Yes. She came out Friday.
Thurgood Marshall would be very happy, and Brown versus Topeka Board of Education, May 17th, 1954. So this is, that is congratulations to you, and obviously congratulations to her. Now, let me tell you, you reminded me of something that is so very important when you were talking about the different organizations operating singularly rather than in unity, which obviously doesn't make them bad organizations. It's just a matter of having a mechanism by which they can come together. So I want to tell you how that reminds me of, quote, back in the day. But while I'm talking about back in the day, you might remember, man, if you were as old as I, you would remember the 1950s. And I want to take you back to when, as youngsters, we used to go out in the backyard and tell me if you can remember this the way I remember it. We would call together all our friends and go out in the backyard and play with our drones. You remember that in the 50s?
Yeah, they had a rubber band that you kind of twirl it up and let it go.
When I think about that to which young people are exposed today, it is absolutely amazing. So I guess maybe I can't quite remember playing with our drones back then.
Well, like I said, when we had a drone, it cost about 10 cents. It had a rubber band, and you twist that propeller on the front of it and let it go. And that was fantastic,
That's right. But I will tell you something that is true of back in the day that some people thought of as a disadvantage. And now, as we reflect upon it, we can honestly say that it was an advantage. our opportunities to participate in various activities were limited by geography. And by circumstance, it turns out that we did more together than they are doing now, but it was by necessity. And sometimes those of us who are older will ask the question, what is going on with these young people now? And then express a litany of things that we recall that are not going on now. Well, we fought for the rights of our young people to expand, but we didn't do the job we needed to do of teaching them the advantage of coming together. So when I think about, when I think about my brother, Ajamu Webster, and for so long, the local president, Kansas City president of the Black United Front, immediately I think about the Kwanzaa celebration and the 7 principles of the Nguzo Saba with unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. The coming together, collective work and responsibility was not just an opportunity, but it was a necessity. And our young people today could benefit from learning traits from those involved with the Black United Front as it relates to even having expansive opportunities, not forgetting from whence you have come and how we can bring those things together.
Yes,
So
yes.
I think that I'm understanding Brother Louis George Walker right, and please comment, if you will, that the activities put forth by and participating with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association has so many opportunities to bring us together. It sounds like a rhetorical question, but you might want to comment on it anyway.
Yeah, and that is a thing. I mean, we want to do more together. Matter of fact, I was contacted just this week from a member of the National Black United Front that they're wanting to recruit some younger members, wanting to know if they can work with the radio station. And I said, sure, because we're wanting to be a part of bringing people together, bringing the community together. There's no sense in having a medium like we're using right now if we're not using it to better ourselves and to come together. And for the other groups, and on Facebook, we do have a group of a lot of the Black tech in Kansas City, so that we're able to start talking to each other, bringing things out. I mean, the one thing about this technology is that it is allowing communications across even broader lines. So things aren't like they were in the 50s or the 60s, but let's thank God that they're not.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, there's
Thank you.
some things that were done that you, like you say, you were more together, but a lot of times you were more together because you couldn't go nowhere else.
Exactly.
You had to think
Exactly.
about that and stuff. Yeah, you all participated in the same park because all the other parks were closed to you.
That's exactly right.
It was that type of thing. So we don't want to go backwards. We want to go forward in our mobility and our achievements and what we can bring together as a people. And we don't have to do that all by being in geographically together. Geographically helps at times, but there's sometimes when it may be that we do it virtually, that we do more connecting with each other. I mean, we should be connecting
Absolutely.
with the whole diaspora. There's people in England when they had Black Lives Matter going on. I was watching the news and saw they had Black Lives Matter demonstrations over in London. So
No,
we need to be connecting with all of the people that are doing something.
you just reminded me of something I will throw out right quick. Um, you mentioned Esteem Village. When my wife and I returned home from Arizona, In 2010, I was privileged to work at Benjamin Banneker Charter Academy of Technology, Superintendent Dr. Marion Brown. And my position was teaching reading and robots. And when I left, the person who succeeded me, poor fellow, had a little bit of a background, was William Wells. And William
Yeah.
Wells knew so much more about robots than I would ever find out. And I'm just proud that I have that privilege of having met William Wells and Ricky Bright at the Benjamin Banneker Charter Academy of Technology. And every once in a while, he has called upon me and allowed me to participate in some things. But he has grown immensely, and our young people benefit a great deal from participating in a STEAM village.
Yes, that's definitely true, and that's what is going on. And I tell you, we work with there's a brother Brown and sister Andrea Ellis with the Kansas City Public Library, and I was impressed. I went
Wow.
out to 63rd and Swope Park. I guess it's the Swope Park branch of the library on 63rd and Swope Parkway. And they work with the young people mainly from out there at Southeast and the schools, right around there, but they have programs where they're
Yes.
learning music production. They're also working with remote cars. When there's just a whole technological library of stuff that they can work with, and they've been working with the young people. And I thought that's great, and that doesn't always get the name recognition that it should.
Mm.
So I think it's the Digital Learning Lab, if I'm not mistaken. I think they
Okay.
call it the Digital Learning Lab. But Kansas City, we've got facilities, we got people, and we've got to support and encourage more of that. It's not like, oh, we've got enough. We mentioned
Thank
two or
you.
three places, but when you think about the
Yeah.
thousands of kids in Kansas City area and in Kansas City, Kansas, and in Johnson County and the Center School District that we need to be getting in touch with, because you still run into parents and say, well, they don't know where they can take their kid to. So we want to have an
You know
overabundance.
what?
Yes.
Without a doubt. Yeah, you just reminded me of why it was that I mentioned Benjamin Banneker Academy of Technology. I happen to be an extended family member, if you will, of Liberian church members. And from the classroom at Benjamin Banneker Charter Academy of Technology, we were setting up a partnership with a school in Liberia to teach simultaneously. And when you talk about the influence and opportunities on the diaspora, this is not just wishful thinking. What you are doing makes that not just possible, but happening. Now, I'll tell you something that's happening now on this program. When LaFay Beasley Daniels was not able to make it, and I thought, wow, just have to maybe do a monologue, and how am I going to stretch it out? All of a sudden, now I'm in a hurry.
Yes.
Coming towards the end. And I'll say this quickly before we leave, because you and I have both expressed our admiration for Brother Jamu Webster, former local president of the Black United Front. I had the privilege of meeting the current president for KC Buff at the services for what what's our brother's name? Who now? How
It's on
could
the
I
tip
do
of my
that? But
tongue now.
uh,
And I can't.
that is
Oh,
Alvin Sykes.
there
I
you
don't know
go. I
why I
knew
couldn't
who
think
you
of
were
Alvin.
talking about. Right.
Exactly, Alvin Sykes, and had the privilege of meeting a young man who is now in that leadership position. So I don't mean to omit that when I talk about Ajamu, but we've been knowing Ajamu since 1980. And we just appreciate what they are doing currently. My
Well, I
goodness,
tell you
it is.
that brother Alvin Sykes that you mentioned, I just have to bring this out right quick, real quick. But he's the reason that
Yeah,
my name got published in Jet magazine was Alvin
is that
Sykes.
right?
Yes, he had me take a picture of him to send in, and I got my first professional photo credit in
Now
Jet
you're talking.
magazine, photo by George Walker of Alvin Sykes.
Now that's outstanding. 850 Michigan Avenue, Ebony Jet, Johnson Publishing, Chicago, Illinois. Cannot believe that that hour went that quickly, but much to look forward to with Wave Your Grades on KUAW.org. Thank you and condolences, LaFay Beasley Daniels. Looking forward to your being back with us, DeQuay Wilson, and for Brother Louis George Walker for bringing us on, giving us this time. My name is Carl Boyd, gracious God and wonderful Wanda. I'm on my way home.